move to subject. Today, what we are going to work, we are going to work on events. We are going to work on user. We are going to work on input types. Input types I have shown you briefly yesterday, and we'll be showing you in detail about those input types. Okay. First thing, we will look it into events. What is events? Any idea? Any idea what it is events? Let me run the project. Now this is the form what we have created. First we'll be looking into this 10th part. So now let me delete all these things. I can see. Okay. So first name, last name, telecom operator, date of birth, and all these things are showing. Now I don't need actually so many date of births, so I can remove few as well. Date of birth, I'll just give date, time, local. Other than that, I'm just removing these things. So first name, last name, telecom operator, date of birth, gender, email, marital status, address, state, and the marks. Now imagine I am entering all these details. I'll type Sachin Tendulkar. Probably he is using Geo. And his date of birth can be something. I'm just giving some date and time. Gender male. Why it is not accepting? Only E is accepting. Gender. Any idea? Because I don't want to type number. You type text. Such numbers as well as the text for gender. Now I'll type male, or if I want I can type female. Anything I can type. But male. And his email ID. Email ID is also not accepting. The reason is that is also type number is there. So I am just correcting that also. I am changing type. There is a type called email that I am giving it. So now even I can type email. Sachin email.com. And the marital status, married or single. Two options are there. Now for now I am giving text here. Marital status. Now I can type married. And address, I'll just type some area. And select state. I will give as Maharashtra. Okay, now I have given it. And then what I wanted to do, I wanted to enter marks. So I am giving 90, 80, 70, 60, 40. Now what I have to do after entering the marks? What I have to do after entering the marks? What I have to do after entering the marks? You can type it in the chat window or you can raise it. Hand raise, you can do it. Anything is fine, but make it interactive. Submit, perfect. So now on click of this, I wanted to submit. So whenever I try to submit it, what I want to happen, I wanted to calculate the total. So what I wanted to do, after entering the marks, I wanted to submit it. On click of the submit, I wanted to calculate the total. That's I wanted to do it. Now here comes the picture events. There are so many events are there. On click is one of the events for button. See, we have button, we have input, we have select. These are the different form elements. For input, on click event is there. For a button, for input, on change is there. For select also, on change is there. These are called events. Events means if you wanted to execute some amount, some part of the code, on click or change, we can use this. Now let me show you an example. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to execute certain part of code on click of this button. On click of this button right now, nothing is happening. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to execute a certain part of the code. How do I do that? Now here I'll come to this submit. Now here I am just trying to type an event called on click. What? On click. on click. See on click which is coming here. Now this is flower bracket. That means we are saying that is a JavaScript expression. That means JavaScript. Inside this, we have to create inside this. We have to create something called an arrow function. What? Arrow function we call it. And why we call it as arrow? It's like this parenthesis, then flower brackets. One set of parenthesis, one set of flower brackets. In between, we just give an arrow. This is called as an arrow function. This is called as an arrow function. Now, what I am doing on click, it is creating a JavaScript expression inside that one set of parentheses. One set of parentheses, one set of flower brackets. One set of flower brackets is equal to and greater than symbol. We call it as arrow. Now this is called as an arrow function. And now within these flower brackets, whatever you write within these flower brackets, whatever you write, that code will be executed on click of. That is this part of the code will be executed on click of this button. That's what this on click is. Now let me show you. Here I am write something called alert. At the time of entering JavaScript, I have shown you alert. Now I am writing alert and say user clicked. Now see what happens. And this part of the code executes only on click of this submit button. Now let us try. Now see here I am just clicking on it. It's not processed yet. User click submit. You are able to see user click submit. So whenever I click on this submit button, user click submit button is calling. That means what? Whatever I write it within these flower brackets, arrow function. That's what I said. Set of parentheses, one set of flower brackets in between arrow. That's why it is called as arrow function. And here, whatever you write within this parenthesis will be executed if you write on particular event. Now, on click is an event for this button. Now, on click of it, it is executing. I am just showing you for button. Now we have something called on change also is there for this select. Now let me show you. I am coming here for this select. Now for select there is an event called on change. Let's say on change equal to flower on change selected flower brackets and creating parenthesis arrow and flower brackets. Now here also I am writing alert. User selected user selected their state. Now let me see here. Now whenever I'm just refreshing it, so it populates. Now see here, whenever I click on this button, our code is executing. Whenever I change, see, user selected their state. Whenever I change, executing. Understanding what I am doing? Yes or no? These are called events. Events are available for each and every form element. For button it is available. For input it is available. For select it is available. For date picker also it is available. Whenever you select something, we can execute something. Got my point? Any questions so far? Understood what is events? Each form element can support multiple events, but mainly for button we use on-click event. For select we use on-change event. Button also supports on-change event. Button also supports on-change event. Now let us try. But now I'm not talking about buttons here. I'm talking about input. Input also supports on-change event. Now let us try here. For English, I'll write on-change. On-change is equal to on-change is equal to I'll say alert. User is entering. User is changing. English. Now let us see. Now I'm clicking here. Now see, I'm trying to type something. Now see, user is changing in English. Now I'm entering typing 6. User is changing in English. If I say 7, user is changing in English. 8, user is changing in English. So each form element supports multiple events, but mainly the events which we use is on click and on change are the events we use. Now I am showing you in alerts actually. Instead of alerts, I can show it in console also. What is this console? Now here I'll type console. Okay. Instead of alert, I'll write it in the console. Console dot log. I'm just writing it here for English on change. Now see what happens. I'm coming here, and here I am typing something. 19999. I have typed something. You don't see anything. But why you don't see anything? Because I have given it the message in console. So if I say right click, if I click on console, now see user is changing in English. User is changing in English. Now I'll try to type again. Say 1. See, user is changing in English. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, now this method, whatever the code we have written is executed 10 times. Executed 10 times. Now, for button also, I have given on click. I given on click instead of alert. Here also I'll say console.log. That means it will be displayed in the console. Now, if I click on console, if I click on this button, it will display a message. Now, see, it is displaying user. Click the submit button. Now, I am clicking it. The code is executing multiple times. Understanding what we are doing. So, form elements supports multiple events. form element supports multiple events like on click, on change, like that it supports. There is one more is there. Let me show you something called on mouse move. Let us see for the button. Instead of on click, I will try on mouse move. Whenever you try to move the mouse on top of the button, this event will be called. Now see brackets and parentheses, and here arrow function I have created. Here I'll say console.log. I'll say mouse is moving on top of the button. Now let us try. If you see here, are you able to see? I am moving the mouse on top of it. It is displaying. Yes or no? No. On click, also code is executing. Click also code is executing, and I am using mouse move on top of this also code is executing. So if I wanted to execute certain code on a specific event with any of the form elements, I have to create the form element, I have to write the event, and I have to create an arrow function. Inside that arrow function, I have to write it. That's the approach. Now, what I wanted to do, I am entering the marks here. I am entering the marks here. 99, 88, 77, 66, 55, 44. And now what I wanted to do, on click of this button, right now just message is coming, but on click of this button, I wanted to calculate the total of this. I wanted to calculate the total of this. So now if I wanted to calculate the total of this, first of all, what I have to do, I have to get this value. I have to get to this value. Obviously, if you get this value, we will be getting it in string format. You have to convert that into number. Then I have to calculate the total, which I am going to do it right now. So, understood events. Anyone has any questions on events? Any kind of questions? Any questions on any kind of questions so far? So now basically what I wanted to do, on click of this button, I wanted to get the values of these things. Then I wanted to convert that into numbers. Then I wanted to calculate the total. And I wanted to display that I wanted to do. Now let us try. Let us try briefly. We'll be going step by step. We'll be going step by step. First of all, I am removing this on mouse move. And here, just a click is there. If I click on this click. Now, if I click on this submit button, user click the submit button is coming. Now, what I wanted to do, I don't want it to display this message. Now, on click of the submit button, I wanted to generate the total. I wanted to generate the total of these things. So, if I wanted to generate the total of these things, first of all, what I have to do, I have to collect this value. Whatever user has entered, I have to collect this value. To collect this value, we have to use something called useref. What? Useref. Useref is something we will be using it. What is useref? Useref is nothing but we are creating a reference to form element. We are creating a reference to form element. Once you create the reference, you can access it and control it. Whatever you want, you can access it and control it. That means what? Now observe here. Now I am creating a variable. Now how can I create a variable? How to create a variable? Can you tell me how to create a variable? How can I create a variable? Can you type it or can you answer it? How to type it? How to create a variable? Let. Let is perfect. Let is the keyword. Either we can use let or we can use constant or let. If we use it changeable, it can be changeable at later point of time. Const means cannot be changeable at later point of time. Now, basically, what I wanted to do is, so basically what I wanted to do on click of this submit button, I wanted to calculate the total. I wanted to calculate the total. So for that, I will do like this. Let us go step by step. I'll say let within this arrow function, I am creating a variable. Let English marks. I'm creating a variable. For example, I'll say 10, and I'll say let Telugu marks. I'm creating another variable 10. I'm creating let B marks equal to 10. Let science marks equal to 10. Let social marks equal to 10. Let Hindi marks equal to 10. Now, basically, what I wanted to do, I wanted to I have created a variable such as English, Telugu, Hindi, science, social, maths. These are okay. English, Telugu, Hindi, science, social, maths here actually. Maths. I have created it. 6 variables I have created it. Now I wanted to calculate the total of this. What I'll do, I'll say let I am creating one more variable called total marks is equal to I am just calculating this English marks plus Telugu marks plus Hindi marks plus science marks plus social marks plus maths marks. Like this, I am calculating the total. First of all, I have created 6 variables to store the marks of this. Right now, I am just assigning 10 only. Then I am using those marks and generating the total. Now, what I will do here, I will just display the total marks. Total marks. Or I can display it in alert also. Alert. Total marks. If I say console.log, it shows in console. If I say alert, it shows to the user in the browser. Now on click of it, now what is that? How much is the total I should get it? How much is the total I should get it? Depending upon these marks. On click of it, what it should show? As per the code what we have written, if I click on this submit button, what it should display? $60, perfect. Now, if I click on this alert, if I click on this submit, it is showing alert 60, perfectly fine. I'm clicking on it. Here also it is showing 60. Here also it is showing perfectly fine. But now, what are the marks I have entered actually? The marks I have entered is not 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I have entered 99, 88, 77, 66, 55, 44. All these are the different marks I have entered. But if I click on this submit, I am not getting these values total, but I am getting the values of total created by us. Now what I wanted to do, I wanted to calculate the total based on the numbers user has entered. Based on the numbers user has entered. So to collect the value from this, we have to use something called useref. What? Useref. We have to use it. Now, what exactly is this? Useref is nothing but giving a name to a element. Useref is nothing but giving a name to a form element. Then we can access it. That means what? Now, let me show you how do I do that. Now, here I am import React from React is there. So here I just say comma user. That means what? React is actually a library created by Meta company or Facebook team. In this library, there is a concept called useref, which we wanted to use that. That's why we are importing that. Then what I will do? Observe here. I'll say let English input ref equal to I'm saying useref. That means I have created a reference. I've created a reference. Now it's like this. To give an example, father, okay, bridegroom and bride. They are newly married. Once they got married, after 1 year, imagine they have given a delivery to a baby for a boy. Baby boy, they have given it. So now, once the baby is born, what they do? They will identify a name, right? Yes or no? They will select a name and they will put that name to. They will assign that name to this boy. That name to this boy. Exactly the same thing. Now I have created a ref. This is like name, and I am assigning this ref to an input called English. Now see for English. For English input, we are giving a name. I am giving ref equal to English input. What exactly is this? Now it's like this. English input ref. English input ref is the name I have created that I am assigning it to an input. Exactly. Now here we have created a name. Ref is like a name. Ref is like a name. I have created this name and I am assigning it to. I have assigned it to this English input. I have assigned that to English input. What is the advantage of this? Now using this name, you can call that. You can get its values. That means what? Now you see here on click of the. Now see on click of the button, I'll say English. And now let me show you an alert. I'll say now see here. I'll say alert. English input ref. That means I am referring to that input dot current dot value. You have to say dot current dot value to get the value of that input. Now see here, I am just typing 88, and if I click on the submit button, now see, we got 88. Yes or no? Now, for example, I am just typing 65. I am clicking on this submit. Now see 65. I am getting it. So what I have done, I have created a name which is like this. I have created a name and assign it to an input. Technically, we call it as a create a ref, assign that to input. Assign that to input. That's what I have done it. Now, let us see. Now, I am able to collect the values from English. Now, I wanted to collect the values from Telugu also. So, what I'll do, I'll create one more ref. Let Telugu input ref is equal to ref. Then I'll assign this ref to the Telugu input. For this Telugu, I am creating ref is equal to Telugu input ref. Now I have assigned that reference to this Telugu. Now I can access the values of this Telugu also. So on click of the button, I'll say alert English, okay, Telugu. I'll say Telugu input ref dot current value. Now see what happens. Now we will be getting two alerts. For one is the value of Telugu in English input, another is the value of the Telugu input, and there is another alert we will be getting, which is total. Right now I will be commenting this total for you. Total alert I am commenting it. Commenting means disable. I am disabling this part of the code. I think we are getting another Telugu input ref line number 125. Telugu input ref actually. Now see what user is typing, that we will be getting it. Now see I am typing 88. I am typing 55. Now if I click on the submit button, now see 88 we are getting, then 55 also we are getting. Now okay, I am able to collect the values of English, I am able to collect the values of Telugu. Now I wanted to collect the values of Hindi. Now can you guide me how to get the values of Hindi? Now I wanted to collect the values of Hindi. Now can you guide me how do I do that? Can you guide me how do I? We need to create a name first. Yes, sir. Ref for Hindi. Yes, actually, ref is the technical word. So now what I'll do, I'll create one more for Hindi. Let Hindi input ref is equal to use ref. I'm creating one more ref. After creating itself is not sufficient. I have to assign to it. Now I wanted to assign it to Hindi. English we have assigned ref. Telugu we have assigned ref. Next Hindi, I am assigning ref is equal to Hindi input ref. Now I can get the values of Hindi also. Now how do I get it? I will say alert Hindi input ref. Now let us try this. Now see, I am coming here. I am entering English marks 55, Telugu marks 66, Hindi marks 77. Now if I click on submit button, now see I am getting English marks 55, then Hindi marks, Telugu marks 66, then Hindi marks 77. So not only English, Telugu, Hindi, I wanted to get the science, social and maths also. So now what I will do? Now I wanted to get marks of science, social and maths also. Now what I have to do? What I have to do? I wanted to collect marks from Hindi, like science, social, maths as well. What I have to do? I wanted to collect values of science, social, and maths as well. You can chat in the, you can message it, or you can raise the hand and answer. Anything is fine. We have to create a ref for each subject. Perfect. Very good. Now what I will do? I am just creating a ref for the remaining subjects also. What? Let's say let science input equal to, have created one for science. Let social. I'm creating one more for social. Let maths. I'm creating one more for maths. So now I have total created 6 refs. Out of 6, I have assigned 3. The remaining 3 I have to assign it. So I am just coming down. And I have to assign it to English. We have assigned. Telugu we have assigned. And Hindi we have assigned. Then science. I wanted to assign it to science. It's a ref is equal to science input. Then I wanted to assign it to social also. Ref is equal to social input ref. Then maths ref is equal to maths input ref. Then I have assigned, I have created 6 references. I have assigned it to all the 6 inputs. Now on click of the button, I wanted to get the values of all the 6 subjects. I'll write alert usually Hindi, science input ref, science input ref dot and dot value. So science will be getting it. Alert social input ref dot value. I am getting it for social and alert maths input ref and dot value. Say Now see, I'll be getting the values of the maths as well. Now let us try. Now I'm coming here. Now let us try. I'll assign marks 10, 20, 30, 40, 60. I have assigned these marks and let me click on the submit button. Now see, English marks 10, Telugu marks 20, then Hindi marks 30, then science marks 40, maths marks 50, and science first marks 50 and maths marks 60. So are we able to collect all the marks entered by the user for subjects using user? Yes or no? Are we able to collect it or not? Yes, we are able to collect it. Now what I wanted to do, because we are able to collect it, I wanted to store it into variables and I wanted to calculate the total. Now what I wanted to do here, English marks 10 I have given. Now I don't need this 10. Anyway, we are collecting this value. English marks at current dot value. This I'll assign it to English marks. As we discussed earlier, variable is something. Variable is useful to store. So what user is entering, we are collecting that value and storing into this variable. Likewise, I will be collecting for all the subjects actually. Right now I'm just copy pasting it here, and I'll say English, then science, social. So basically what I am doing, first of all, I have created refs, I have assigned refs. After assigning refs, we are getting the values. Whatever the values we are getting, I am storing it into those variables. After storing it into those variables, I am just calculating the total. After calculating the total, I wanted to display the total marks. I wanted to display total marks. Now, let us try. Now what actually it displays. Now what I will do, here I am giving 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I am giving 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What is the total? I will be getting it if I click on submit button. How much is the total of this? How much I should get it? If I add 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50 plus 60, how much is the total I should get it? If I add 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50 plus 60, how much is the total it should show? 210, perfect, it should show 210. Now let us see what happens. Now I have entered all these values, and if I click on submit button, okay, first English marks are showing, perfect. Then Telugu marks, perfect. Then Hindi marks, then science marks, then social marks, then maths marks. Now what is it showing now? It is showing 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Why is it showing like this? It is not showing 210. This is the total. We are doing it. See, if you see here, we are calculating the total, but it is not showing 210, but it is showing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What is actually happening? Instead of showing 210, it is showing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. What is actually happening? what is actually happening? We have given strings, perfect. No, we haven't given strings. Whatever the values you are getting from any of these inputs, that by default will be in strings only. That by default will be in strings, right? Basically, strings concatenation is happening. Perfect. We have to keep total into this. Not that actually we have to convert this into number actually first. We have to convert these things into numbers. Now what I will do? Now it is actually, we are getting the value, but we are getting it in string format. I wanted to convert this into number and store. So before storing it into the variable, I am converting that into a number. I am converting that into a number. Right. Now like this, I will be doing it for remaining subjects also. Now I am converting everything that into a number. Now let us observe the difference now. Now if I come here and see, now see the difference. Now if I click on the submit, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and how much is it showing now? 210. So are we getting the total or not? Yes or no? Now what I want, I don't need unwanted alerts, so I just comment all these things. Comment means disabling the code, double slash is the disabling code here. Now what I will do, I'll just click on this submit, and I'm getting it. Now what I'll do, I'll refresh it again. Now I will enter, 99, 88, 77, 56, 55, 42, and if I click on submit, 429 is the total. I'm getting it. See, in tables we are using just for displaying it, but these forms we are creating for collecting. We are collecting through forms and storing it into the variables, the collected variables, and generating the total, and we are displaying those. 429 is the total. Got my point? Understood what is the purpose of useref? What is the purpose of useref? Useref, we can create a ref and assign it to a component, so we can control it actually. If you create a ref and assign it to a form element, we can control it. Control means, not only getting the values, you can assign the values also. You can assign the values also. Now observe here. Now what I am going to do, show you. Now here we are getting the values. English input ref dot current dot value, we are getting it, but I can set the value also. That means assign English input dot ref dot current dot value is equal to 99. Now see, I have assigned 99. Now that means what? Now observe here. Now observe here. I'm refreshing it. Now see, right now no value is assigned, but if I click on submit, now see, 99 I am assigning it. So ref is not only useful for getting the values, for setting the values. It's like phone. Phone is useful for incoming or for outgoing, or both. phone will be useful. Phone is useful for incoming calls or outgoing calls or both. Both. Exactly the same thing. Useref is useful for getting the values if there are any in it, or setting the values if there are no values. If you can set the values also. Now I am setting it. On click of the button, I am setting it. Now, even if I give 55, if I click on submit button, now it will be changed to 99. So ref is useful not only for getting the values, for setting the values. Okay. Now, what I have done, I am able to create the marks 77, 66, 89, 78, 75, 73. Now, if I click on the submit button, now see the total 457 is coming. Now, what I wanted to do, instead of displaying it in alert, I wanted to display here. I wanted to create a simple heading, and I wanted to display the alert there. Now, what I will do, in our form below the submit button, I am creating H3. H3, I'll say total rows here. Something. I'm just typing something. Now let us see here. Now here it is showing total shows here. Now what I wanted to do, if I click on the submit button, we are just showing the total in alert, but instead of showing the alert, I wanted to show it here. I wanted to show it here. How do I do that? But if I wanted to control this also, I have to create a ref. What I will do, I will create a ref. I'll say let total ref equal to user. Now what I'll do, I am coming to the last and for this also I am assigning ref to it. For this also I am assigning ref to it. I'll say total. Now let me delete. Let me delete everything. So I have just an empty H3 is there. Now that means nothing will be shown here. Nothing will be shown here. Now on click of the button, now I'll say 88, 29, 27. Now if I click on the submit button, it is showing the total in alert, but I wanted to show that in the heading. Here I have created the heading. You don't see any heading here because there is nothing in it. Now what I will do here, I'll say total ref is the reference of the heading. H3 dot current dot value is equal to I'll assign total marks. I'll assign total marks. Now see what happens. Now see what I am expecting now. What should happen if I click on the submit button? So if I click on that submit button, it should show that total there. But now see, I'm clicking on submit. Total 506 is coming. But is it showing here? Is showing or not showing? Not showing. The reason is two things. We have inputs. That means where user can enter something. User like interactive components, I can say interactive elements. Interactive elements means what? It can be input. It can be a drop down where user can type or select something. These are called interactive. but labels, headings, paragraphs, these are not interactive. This is just for display purposes. Labels, headings, paragraphs are not interactive. For these things, if you wanted to assign the value, you have to use dot inner HTML. Dot inner HTML for getting the value or for setting the value. For interactive, we have to use dot value. Current dot value, here current dot inner HTML. That means now this H3 is a non-interactive. That means instead of current, I'll use dot inner HTML. Now inner HTML, if I use that, now see what happens. Now, if I click on submit, 506 is the total. Now see, 506 is displaying. So interactive components like inputs or these drop downs or check boxes, radio buttons, all these dates, everything are interactive. Interactive, you have to use dot value, current dot value for assigning or getting the value. For non-interactive, you have to use current dot inner HTML. I have used it. Now I am calculating the total. Now what I will do, I wanted to display the total marks. It's not just like that. What 506? I don't want it to just 506. I wanted to show some text. So what I will do, I am creating backtick. Are you able to see here? Backtick. This is called as backtick. Whatever you put it within strings or within single quotes or within backticks are called as strings. Either double quotes or single quotes, or these are called backticks. Backticks are available above the tab. In your keyboard, above that, this is the tab key. For example, above the tab key, you will be finding it. You'll be finding it like this. Like this, you will be finding it. This is called backtick. Now I have created this backtick. Now I'll say total marks are. Now see, if I click on the submit, it's not refreshed yet. So now it is showing total marks are. Now I wanted to display the value of the variable. Value of the variable means I'll just use dollar symbol. Okay, see the name of the total. The name of the variable where marks are storing are total marks. So I'll just give total marks just like this. Now see what happens. If I just give total marks like this, it will show as it is. Now see. Now see. It is just showing as it is. Total marks are total marks. But I wanted to show the value of it. I'll put it in dollar brackets. That means I am specifying that is a JavaScript expression within the string. JavaScript expression within the string. Now see here. If I click on if I click on the submit button, instead of total marks, it shows 506. Now I'll change 63. Now if I click on submit button, now say 481 is the total. Now it's a total marks are 481. Now I don't want it to show this alert also. I wanted to get rid of these alerts. Now see, I am just refreshing it. Now see, I'll enter 99, 88, 77, 88, 99, 77. If I click on submit button, now see, total marks are 528. Understanding what we are doing? And I am doing, whenever I click on submit button, what actually we are doing? We are collecting the values of these inputs, storing it into variables, convert that into numbers, and generating the total. And the total I am displaying. Now I am just generating the total only. I want to calculate the percentage also. Now what I will do, I'll create. Now we have got the total. I'll get the percentage. So let percentage is equal to total total marks by 600. Total marks by 600 into 100. Basic percentage formula. Now I am just showing total marks are this one and percentage say dollar. Now if I see here, now see here, I'm clicking on the submit. See. Total marks are 525, 528 and percentage 88. Got it? Now I'll assign our own values. And say 43, 54, 65, 78, 87. I'm clicking on submit button. Now see what happens. See. Total marks are 423 and percentage 70.5. Understanding what I am doing? Yes or no? Understanding or not? Any questions you have so far? Yes, understanding or not understanding? There is something. Any questions anyone has? Now, something similar, I want you to do it. Let it do it for, no, okay, now let us see. Now let us try to improvise a bit. Now total marks are 423 and percentage is 7.5. Now here we have student name is also there, right? Student name. I'll try to get this student name also. Now what I will do, I am going to create one more ref. And say let first name input ref equal to use ref. Then let last name input ref equal to use ref. Then what I will do, I am assigning this here. Ref is equal to name input ref. And for last name, I'll say input ref is equal to last name input ref. Then I can correct these values also. So what I will do, I'll be storing it into variables. On click of the button, on click of the submit button, on click of the submit button, I'll say let first name anyway it will be in strings only. I'll say first name input ref dot current dot value. Then let last name input ref is equal to last name input ref current dot value. Then what I will do, I'll be assigning the values here. Here I'll say dollar name and last name. First name and actually the last name here it is. This is the variable name. First name is the variable, last name is the variable. So here name in space dollar name dot hundred with changed the message a bit different. Now let us try. Now I am just typing Sachin Tendulkar. I am not filling all these things for now. I'll say 99, 88, 77, 66, 55, 44. Now observe here what happens if I click on submit. Now see, Sachin Tendulkar got 429 out of 600 with 71.5%. Now I want for Ganguly, for example. Now I'll type Saurabh. Here I'll say 100, 100, 100, 100, 80, 20. I'm doing something like this. So now if I click on submit button, now see. Saurabh Ganguly got a 550 out of 600 with the 91.666666%. Got it? Understanding or not, like the way I'm getting the values of subject marks, I'm getting the values of first name and last name also, and I can do that. We can do much more also. Now see, here we have gender is there. If gender is male, we can say Mr. Saurabh Ganguly or Mr. Sachin Tendulkar. If gender is female, we can say Miss. If gender is female and marital status is married, we can say Mrs. And all those things, we can get the values from this also, whatever the value you have selected. Also, we can do that. Now, I wanted to get the value from this state. Now, let us try. I'll create one more ref. Let state select ref is equal to say state selected. All these are inputs we have collected, so they have given input here. Select, I have given state select ref. Now I'll be assigning this to state. The state I'll say select ref is equal to this. Now I can get its selected value as well. Now let me remove this for now. Now what I will do, I am just going to store the state also. First name, last name. Let state is equal to state select ref dot current dot value. That is interactive, so dot current dot value. And here I'll type the message. I'll generate the message here. Now, first name, last name from dollar. Now, let us try. Now, instead of H3, I'll use H. Bit smaller. The message is becoming bigger, so I'm making it a bit smaller text. Now, see here, I'll select like this. Saurav Sachin Tendulkar. He is from Maharashtra. And I have assigned 88, 28, 69, 85, 47, 56. I am saying submit. Now see. Sachin Tendulkar from Maharashtra got 423 out of 600 with 70.5%. Understanding what we are doing, first session and second session we have created the forms and entered the values. Now in third session we are collecting the values and we are storing it into variables and generating the total or percentage, and we are displaying something like this. Now I want you to do something similar. I want you to do it for 10th. You do it for 10th. After 10th, if possible, you do it for inter as well. If possible, you do it for inter. If it is finding it difficult, you do it for 10th itself. Okay. Now, basically, I want everything. I want first name, last name. I want gender, email, marital status, address, state. This telecom operator, no need it. I have shown it so you can understand it. Let it be date of birth also. Understood the task? Now I want you to do it accordingly. So we have covered we have covered arrow functions. We have covered events like Onclick. This input types, radio button, checkbox. We'll be covering it in our next session. Okay.